98.9% of you are not subscribed. Enter and subscribe because of the amount of 1,000 subscribers I will post a very special video for you. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, the United Earth Federation, UEF, had long enjoyed a reputation for peace and diplomacy. However, that peace was shattered when the Thraxis Empire, a technologically advanced and warlike alien species, launched a devastating invasion of human colonies on the frontier. The Thraxis soldiers, clad in impenetrable armor made from an exotic alloy, seemed unstoppable. Conventional energy weapons, which most species relied on, were utterly ineffective against their defenses. The UEF was on the brink of collapse, its military struggling to find a way to combat this new threat. Desperation led to innovation, and scientists and engineers worked around the clock to develop a solution. It was during this frantic search that a surprising discovery was made. The Thraxis armor had one weakness, and it was a relic from humanity's past. Captain Sarah Mitchell, a decorated officer known for her strategic brilliance, was summoned to the UEF's Central Command on New Terra. The situation was dire, and the Council needed her expertise to turn the tide of the war. "Captain Mitchell," Admiral Jonathan Hayes began, his expression grim but hopeful, "our scientists have discovered something that might just save us. The Thraxis armor is impervious to energy weapons, but it appears vulnerable to kinetic impact, specifically projectile weapons." Mitchell raised an eyebrow. "Projectile weapons? You mean like bullets?" Dr. Marcus Voss, the lead scientist on the project, nodded. "Precisely. The exotic alloy used in their armor can dissipate energy blasts, but struggles to absorb the force of high-velocity projectiles. We've tested old ballistic weapons, and they're effective against the Thraxis armor." The room was silent for a moment as the Council absorbed this information. It was both a revelation and a challenge. Projectile weapons, considered obsolete in an age dominated by energy weapons, would now become humanity's best hope. "We need to retrofit our troops immediately," Admiral Hayes said. "Captain Mitchell, you'll lead the first unit equipped with these weapons. Your mission is to test their effectiveness in the field and provide us with the data we need to mount a larger offensive." Mitchell saluted, her mind already racing with plans. "Yes, sir. We'll show the Thraxis what humans are capable of." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Factories that had long been repurposed for energy weapon production were swiftly converted back to manufacture ballistic ammunition and firearms. Soldiers underwent rapid training in the use of these ancient weapons, their hands and minds adapting quickly to the unfamiliar but intuitive mechanics of projectile firearms. Mitchell's unit, Delta Squad, was among the first to be fully outfitted and ready for deployment. The squad consisted of some of the UEF's finest soldiers, including Sergeant Jake Harris, a sharpshooter with a keen eye and steady hand, Corporal Elena Vasquez, an explosives expert, and Private Tom Drake, a tech-savvy rookie with a knack for improvisation. Their mission was to infiltrate the occupied colony of Artemis IV, gather intelligence, and engage the Thraxis forces to test the effectiveness of their new arsenal. The transport ship hummed with tension as they approached the planet, each soldier lost in their thoughts, mentally preparing for the battle ahead. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, Mitchell addressed her squad. "Remember, our primary objective is to confirm the effectiveness of these weapons. Stay focused, stick together, and watch each other's backs. We're the first line of defense for humanity. Let's make it count." The squad nodded, their faces steeled with determination. The transport landed in a secluded area outside the main colony, and Delta Squad disembarked, moving swiftly and silently through the dense forest that surrounded the settlement. Upon reaching the outskirts of the colony, they observed the Thraxis patrols. The alien soldiers were tall and imposing, their armor gleaming in the sunlight. Mitchell gave the signal, and the squad took up positions, their projectile weapons at the ready. Sergeant Harris, positioned on a hill overlooking the patrol route, was the first to engage. He aimed carefully, his fingers steady on the trigger. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the forest as the bullet struck its target. The Thraxis soldier staggered, a hole punched clean through its armor and collapsed. The squad moved quickly, engaging the remaining Thraxis soldiers with precision and efficiency. The aliens were taken by surprise, their confidence shattered as they realized their once impenetrable armor was no longer invincible. Mitchell led the charge, her rifle barking with each pull of the trigger. The Thraxis soldiers fell one by one, unable to withstand the relentless onslaught of high-velocity projectiles. The tide of battle had turned, and Delta Squad pushed forward, securing the colony and freeing the human captives held within. As the dust settled, Mitchell assessed their situation. The mission had been a resounding success. The projectile weapons had proven their worth, and the Thraxis forces were in disarray. "Excellent work, team," Mitchell said, her voice filled with pride. "We've shown the Thraxis that we won't go down without a fight. Let's regroup and prepare for extraction." The squad gathered their gear and escorted the freed captives to the extraction point. The transport ship arrived, and they boarded quickly, eager to return to New Terra with their newfound knowledge. Back at UEF Central Command, the data from the mission was analyzed and the results were clear. Projectile weapons were the key to defeating the Thraxis. The UEF leadership wasted no time in implementing the new strategy, retrofitting their entire military with ballistic firearms and launching a coordinated offensive across multiple fronts. The battles that followed were fierce and relentless, but humanity's resolve was unshakable. The Thraxis, once confident in their superiority, found themselves struggling against the unexpected and devastating effectiveness of human projectile weapons. The war turned in the UEF's favor, with each victory bolstering their morale and weakening the Thraxis' hold on human colonies. Captain Mitchell and Delta Squad continued to lead the charge, their bravery and skill becoming legendary among the UEF forces. They carried out mission after mission, liberating occupied worlds and driving the Thraxis back. One of the most pivotal battles took place on Erebus Prime, a strategically important planet that had been under Thraxis control for months. The UEF launched a massive assault, with Delta Squad at the forefront. The fighting was intense, but the human soldiers, armed with their projectile weapons, fought with unparalleled determination. As the battle raged on, Mitchell found herself face to face with Commander Zorath, the leader of the Thraxis forces on Erebus Prime. Zorath was a towering figure, his armor adorned with intricate designs that signified his rank and prowess. "You think you can defeat us with your primitive weapons?" Zorath sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. Mitchell leveled her rifle at him, her expression unyielding. "These primitive weapons are your downfall." The ensuing duel was brutal and fierce. Zorath's strength and agility were formidable, but Mitchell's skill and determination proved superior. With a final, decisive shot, she brought the Thraxis commander to his knees. As Zorath fell, the remaining Thraxis forces began to crumble. The UEF troops pressed their advantage, securing victory and liberating Erebus Prime. The news of the victory spread quickly, fueling the momentum of the human resistance. Back on New Terra, the UEF leadership hailed the victory as a turning point in the war. Admiral Hayes addressed the council and the soldiers, his voice filled with pride and determination. "We've shown the galaxy that humanity will not be defeated. Our ingenuity, our resilience, and our unwavering spirit are our greatest weapons. Together, we will drive the Thraxis back and secure a future of peace and freedom for all." The war against the Thraxis Empire continued, but the tide had irrevocably turned. Humanity, armed with their seemingly outdated but devastatingly effective projectile weapons, fought with renewed vigor. The Thraxis, once seen as invincible, now faced the full force of human ingenuity and determination. Captain Mitchell and Delta Squad remained at the forefront of the conflict, their actions inspiring countless others to join the fight. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The stunning success of human projectile weapons against the Thraxis forces had brought a new wave of hope to the United Earth Federation, UEF. But as the tide began to turn, the Thraxis Empire adapted, shifting their tactics and fortifying their positions. It became clear that the road to victory would be long and fraught with peril. Captain Sarah Mitchell and Delta Squad had returned to New Terra as heroes, but their rest was short-lived. The UEF leadership, bolstered by their recent victories, began planning a series of covert operations designed to cripple the Thraxis war machine from within. Admiral Jonathan Hayes summoned Delta Squad to a high-security briefing room in the heart of UEF Central Command. The atmosphere was tense but focused, as each member of the squad understood the gravity of the mission ahead. "Captain Mitchell, Delta Squad," Admiral Hayes began, his voice firm. "Our intelligence has uncovered critical information about a secret Thraxis facility on Xandar Prime. This facility is believed to be the main production site for their advanced armor and weapons. Your mission is to infiltrate, gather intel, and, if possible, sabotage their operations." Dr. Marcus Voss, who had played a pivotal role in the discovery of the projectile weapon's effectiveness, added, "We've developed a set of specialized munitions and explosives designed to penetrate their facilities. You'll need to plant these charges at key points to ensure maximum disruption." Mitchell nodded, absorbing the information. "We'll get it done, Admiral. What kind of resistance should we expect?" Hayes glanced at a holographic display showing the layout of the Thraxis facility. "The facility is heavily guarded, with multiple layers of security. Expect advanced defensive measures and elite Thraxis soldiers. This won't be easy, but I have every confidence in your abilities." Sergeant Jake Harris, Corporal Elena Vasquez, and Private Tom Drake exchanged determined looks. They were ready. They had faced impossible odds before and emerged victorious. This mission would be no different. The journey to Xandar Prime was fraught with danger. The Thraxis Empire had increased patrols and tightened security across their territories. Delta Squad's transport ship, equipped with the latest in stealth technology, navigated through treacherous space, avoiding detection by enemy sensors. As they approached Xandar Prime, the squad reviewed their mission objectives and synchronized their equipment. Each member carried a specialized loadout tailored to their skills. Harris with his sniper rifle and high-powered optics, Vasquez with her explosives and engineering tools, and Drake with his advanced hacking devices. The transport ship landed in a secluded area on the planet's surface, hidden from the prying eyes of Thraxis patrols. Delta Squad disembarked, moving swiftly and silently through the dense forest that surrounded the facility. The air was thick with tension, but their training and camaraderie kept them focused. Upon reaching the perimeter of the Thraxis facility, the squad took up positions, surveying the heavily fortified compound. Guard towers, automated turrets, and patrolling soldiers formed a nearly impenetrable defense. Mitchell signaled for Drake to begin his work. The young tech specialist moved with precision, hacking into the facility's security network and disabling key systems. Moments later, the squad slipped through the breach, their movements synchronized and stealthy. Inside the facility, they encountered fierce resistance. Thraxis soldiers, alerted to the intrusion, engaged the squad in intense firefights. The specialized munitions developed by Dr. Voss proved invaluable, their high-velocity projectiles tearing through the Thraxis armor with deadly efficiency. Harris took point, his sniper rifle picking off enemies with pinpoint accuracy. "Clear ahead," he reported, his voice steady. "Keep moving." Vasquez and Drake worked in tandem, planting explosives at critical junctures while Mitchell coordinated their efforts. The facility was a maze of corridors and high-tech laboratories, each step bringing them closer to their objective. As they advanced deeper into the compound, the squad encountered the heart of the Thraxis operations, a massive production chamber filled with advanced machinery and rows of partially constructed armor. The sight was both awe-inspiring and chilling, a stark reminder of the technological prowess of their enemy. Mitchell surveyed the chamber, identifying key targets for sabotage. "Vasquez, plant charges on the main production units. Drake, disable the control systems. Harris, cover our exit." The team moved with practiced efficiency, each member executing their tasks with precision. The sound of explosions echoed through the facility as the charges detonated, sending shockwaves through the structure. With their mission complete, Delta Squad began their exfiltration. The facility was in chaos, Thraxis soldiers scrambling to respond to the destruction. The squad fought their way to the extraction point, their determination unyielding. As they reached the transport ship, Mitchell took one last look at the burning facility. "Mission accomplished. Let's get out of here." The transport lifted off, leaving the smoldering remains of the Thraxis production site behind. The mission had been a success, but the war was far from over. Delta Squad knew that each victory brought them closer to their ultimate goal, the liberation of humanity from the Thraxis Empire. Back on Nuterra, the data and intel gathered from the facility provided the UEF with invaluable insights into the Thraxis war machine. The sabotage had dealt a significant blow to the Empire's production capabilities, slowing their advances and buying the UEF precious time. Admiral Hayes addressed the Council and the assembled troops, his voice filled with resolve. Delta Squad's success on Xandar Prime is a testament to our resilience and ingenuity. We will continue to strike at the heart of the Thraxis Empire, dismantling their operations and freeing our colonies. Together, we will prevail. The war continued, each battle pushing the limits of human endurance and ingenuity. Delta Squad remained at the forefront, their actions inspiring hope and defiance across the galaxy. They faced new challenges and adversaries, each mission more dangerous than the last, but their determination never wavered. One of the most critical missions took them to Aegis Station, a space station orbiting a distant star. Intelligence indicated that the Thraxis were developing a new weapon capable of devastating entire planets. The UEF couldn't afford to let this weapon come online. The squad infiltrated Aegis Station, their approach a delicate balance of stealth and force. Inside, they encountered a labyrinthine network of corridors and laboratories, each filled with advanced Thraxis technology. As they navigated the station, they discovered the true nature of the weapon, a massive particle cannon capable of harnessing stellar energy. The implications were horrifying, and Mitchell knew they had to act fast. Vasquez, plant charges on the main reactor. Drake, disable the targeting systems. Harris, cover our escape route, Mitchell ordered, her voice calm but urgent. The squad moved quickly, their actions coordinated and precise. The station's alarms blared as the charges detonated, sending the structure into chaos. Thraxis soldiers converged on their position, desperate to stop the intruders. Harris's sniper rifle rang out, each shot taking down an approaching enemy. "We've got company! Move! Move!" The squad fought their way to the extraction point, the station's corridors filled with smoke and debris. As they reached the transport ship, the charges on the reactor detonated, sending a massive explosion ripping through the station. The transport lifted off, the explosion illuminating the void of space. Delta Squad had succeeded in destroying the weapon, but the war was far from over. Each mission brought them closer to their goal, but the cost was high. Back on Nuterra, the UEF celebrated their victories, but the toll of war weighed heavily on everyone. The Thraxis Empire was relentless, and the battles grew fiercer with each passing day. Captain Mitchell and Delta Squad continued to lead the charge, their actions inspiring hope and defiance. They knew that the road ahead was long and perilous, but their resolve was unbreakable. They fought not just for survival, but for the future of humanity and all those who sought freedom from the tyranny of the Thraxis Empire. The story of Delta Squad was one of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The war against the Thraxis Empire continued, but with each battle, the dream of victory grew closer. Delta Squad's mission to destroy the Thraxis weapon on Aegis Station had been a resounding success, but the cost was high, and the war against the Thraxis Empire raged on. The United Earth Federation, UEF, continued to push forward, but the enemy was relentless, and the battles were growing fiercer by the day. Back on Nuterra, the UEF leadership gathered to plan their next move. The intelligence gathered from Aegis Station had revealed the location of the Thraxis Empire's central command on Ragnarok, a heavily fortified planet deep within enemy territory. Taking down this stronghold could turn the tide of the war, but it would require a massive and coordinated effort. Admiral Jonathan Hayes addressed the Council, his voice filled with determination. "Ragnarok is the heart of the Thraxis Empire. If we can take it down, we can cripple their command structure and disrupt their operations across the galaxy. This is our chance to strike a decisive blow." Captain Sarah Mitchell and Delta Squad were tasked with leading the assault. The mission would be their most dangerous yet, requiring them to infiltrate the heavily defended planet, gather intelligence, and pave the way for a full-scale invasion. The preparations were intense. The UEF mobilized all available forces, coordinating with their allies to mount the largest offensive in their history. Delta Squad underwent additional training and received the latest in weaponry and technology, including new armor-piercing projectiles and advanced stealth gear. As the fleet assembled, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation and resolve. The soldiers knew that this mission could be their last, but they were ready to fight for the future of humanity. The fleet jumped into hyperspace, emerging near Ragnarok's outer defenses. The Thraxis were prepared, and a massive battle erupted in space. UEF ships engaged the enemy fleet, their weapons blazing in the darkness of space. Amid the chaos, Delta Squad's transport ship slipped through the enemy lines, using its advanced cloaking technology to avoid detection. They landed on the planet's surface, their objective clear: infiltrate the central command complex and disable its defenses. The squad moved quickly, their movements silent and coordinated. The landscape of Ragnarok was harsh and unforgiving, a fitting reflection of the Thraxis Empire's brutal rule. They encountered heavy resistance, but their training and determination carried them through. As they approached the command complex, they encountered an elite unit of Thraxis soldiers, each one a formidable opponent. The firefight was intense, but Delta Squad's superior tactics and weaponry gave them the edge. Sergeant Jake Harris, positioned on a ridge, provided cover fire with his sniper rifle. "We've got multiple hostiles closing in. Stay sharp." Corporal Elena Vasquez and Private Tom Drake worked together to plant charges on key structures, their actions precise and efficient. Captain Mitchell led the assault, her rifle taking down enemies with unerring accuracy. Inside the complex, they discovered a vast network of control rooms and communication centers. The heart of the Thraxis command structure lay before them, and they moved swiftly to disable it. Drake hacked into the mainframe, his fingers flying over the keyboard. "I'm in, disabling their defenses now." Alarms blared as the charges detonated, sending shockwaves through the complex. The Thraxis forces were thrown into chaos, their command structure crippled. Delta Squad fought their way out, the facility collapsing around them. As they reached the extraction point, their transport ship arrived just in time. They boarded quickly, leaving the burning remains of the Thraxis command complex behind. The mission was a success, but the battle for Ragnarok was far from over. Back in space, the UEF fleet continued to engage the Thraxis forces. With the command complex disabled, the enemy fleet was disorganized and vulnerable. The UEF pressed their advantage, launching a full-scale assault on the planet. The battle raged on for hours, each side fighting with everything they had. But the UEF's determination and strategic prowess began to turn the tide. The Thraxis fleet was decimated, and their ground forces were overwhelmed by the relentless assault. As the dust settled, the UEF emerged victorious. The fall of Ragnarok was a turning point in the war, a decisive blow to the Thraxis Empire. The news spread quickly, bolstering the morale of the UEF and their allies. Admiral Hayes addressed the fleet, his voice filled with pride and hope. "Today we have struck a blow against tyranny. The fall of Ragnarok is a testament to our courage and resilience. But our work is not yet done. We will continue to fight until the Thraxis Empire is no more and peace is restored to the galaxy." Delta Squad returned to New Terra as heroes, their actions having played a crucial role in the victory. But the cost of the war weighed heavily on them. They had lost friends and comrades, and the scars of battle ran deep. Captain Mitchell, Sergeant Harris, Corporal Vasquez, and Private Drake stood together, reflecting on their journey. They had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious, but the fight for freedom was far from over. "We've come a long way," Mitchell said, her voice filled with a mix of pride and sorrow. "But there's still more to do. We'll keep fighting, for those we've lost, and for the future we want to build." The story of Delta Squad was one of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The war against the Thraxis Empire continued, but with each battle, the dream of victory grew closer.